So a new list just came out ranking the top 100 most expensive zip codes in all of the United States, and San Diego happened to have 5 that made the list. Some of them might surprise you where they are on the list actually, but we're going to get into those. And if you are thinking about moving out here and you have visited San Diego and you know these areas, but you think they're a little bit too expensive, I'm going to give you 5 other options that are relatively close to these areas where the price points are a bit less than the most expensive zip codes right here in San Diego. I'm not going to say they're affordable, but the price point from the most expensive zip code to the ones I'm going to give you are significant. So we're going to jump into it, give you an idea of what each area is like and what you need to know. So if you're thinking about moving to San Diego, you have a good idea of what to expect. So let's get into it right now. As always, thanks for tuning in. We're dropping new videos here every single week on all things living in San Diego. So be sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on everything that's happening right here. And I'm Chris Erickson with the Beach Life Group, a local real estate team right here in San Diego. And if you're thinking about moving out here, you got some questions, you want to pick our brain, whether it be 1 month or 1 year from now, hit us up, call, text, or email. We got your back when making the move here to San Diego. All right, so let's jump into the top spots. Actually came in at number 99 on the list is La Jolla. So you guys know La Jolla. It is one of the more expensive zip codes here in San Diego, but it's funny, it only made the top 99, barely came into the top 100. Now on the list that they provided, Property Shark is the people who provided a real estate data firm. They came up with a median price point, a median sales price of $1.83 million. Now that's taking it into homes and also condos. But today we're going to focus on homes. So I'm going to give you the median home price. Now the median sales price in La Jolla, the most current data, is sitting at $3.25 million. Now, La Jolla, as you know, it is the jewel of San Diego. You've probably been to La Jolla Cove. You've probably been to the village down here where you have the shops and stuff. There's a bunch of different little areas in La Jolla, and it is expensive. Obviously, if you go up the hill, you have some beautiful views up on these areas here, Muirlands West, as you go up Soledad Mountain. Some of those are looking back towards the freeway. But once again, there is just a lot of rolling hills in here that account for some of that price point where you do have bigger lots. You do have kind of old school lots that are spread out a little bit. You don't have a ton of master plan communities, but there's a lot of different spots here in La Jolla. As you go south, one of the places that we made a vlog on is a Bird Rock right down here to the south, which is pretty awesome. And it borders the area that we're going to give you right now, which is Pacific Beach. Now, locals watching this are probably like, Pacific Beach is nothing like La Jolla, but I'm specifically going with the northern part of Pacific Beach. So up here where you see Kate Sessions Park, we're going to go just put at this line right here, probably Barrel Street to the north. It goes up and around, and then anything up in this northern section of Pacific Beach. Now, once you get down, you can see it's a little more dense in here. You can see all the grid pattern, the roads and whatnot. It gets pretty tight in there, and there is just a lot of housing in there. And especially as you get closer to Garnett Avenue, which is like the main strip down here in Pacific Beach, you're going to get a little bit busier. You're going to get a lot of people cruising around, going out and about, enjoying Pacific Beach. So the further you are away from that, the more quieter it is, and the more it's going to live a little bit like La Jolla. And right here, you can just shoot down to La Jolla Boulevard, cruise up to Bird Rock. They do have a little strip up here too, where you have Bird Rock Coffee. There's Beaumont's. There's a few other places to eat and whatnot in there. So you can still explore La Jolla. And then just another few minutes up the road is where you have the village. So you could cruise down to all the shops if that is what you were looking for. But from this northern section of Pacific Beach, you have Kate Sessions Park with some beautiful views looking down south to, you can see down into San Diego here. You can see your quick shot to the 5. So if you did need to go north or south, a lot of people may be working up in Sorrento Valley, up in Kearny Mesa, wherever it might be. Even if you're working up in North County, it's not too far. So you have easy access to the 5. Now getting off the 5 is a little different story. There's only basically one off ramp. So that area does get pretty packed during rush hour and stuff where you are waiting some time to get out of there. Now you can take the scenic route going through La Jolla and cut around. I used to live down in northern Pacific Beach off Tourmaline Street. And super easy access to Tourmaline Surf Park, all the beaches right up here. You have the pier right at the end there, but nice big wide open beaches. And obviously in San Diego, you do have access to an in and out right here, which is pretty nice. So you have all that. North PB. Now the median price point down here is only $2.105 million. And I say only because I'm comparing it to the 3.25 that is in La Jolla. Like I said, the further you go towards the main drag, the main strip, the busier it's going to be, especially during summertime. You get a lot of tourists and stuff. This is where a lot of people come from inland and go hang out at the beach and go down and cruise around Garnett Avenue, check out all the bars and whatnot. So, but on this north side, there's not much infrastructure. It's pretty quiet up here, and it'd be a good option, a good plan B for La Jolla. Coming in at number 86 on the list is somewhere in North County, Cardiff by the Sea. So Cardiff is a little footprint here, a little coastal city town right here in San Diego. If you've heard of Encinitas, it's just due south of that. But Cardiff is your quintessential beach town here. On their list, it came in just shy of $2 million, 1.975. But if you look at the current median price point, it's about $2.2 million. And it's going to vary widely from west of the 5. So this whole section, you have the walking district, Composer district on this side, and then you have east of the 5. So you have a big townhome condo section up here. You do have Poinsettia Heights in here, some older single family homes right in here. And then the walking district, you have access down to the town center. You do have VG's Donuts down there, which is a staple right here. You have Seaside Market if you go get some Cardiff crack, which is fantastic right here in Cardiff as well. A few other little shops, but it's not really known for its infrastructure. It's known as a really cool beach town. None of the houses are right on the beach. So you do have this big strip here, which is actually a campground, which is pretty rad. So if you're exploring San Diego and you want to go camping, you got to book it out quite a ways in advance, but it's pretty awesome to have that. There are some that are overlooking the ocean right to the east side of South Coast Highway, but nothing as you see right on the beach. And Cardiff has, I'm going to say, some of the best beaches in all of San Diego, especially in North County. Starting right here at this little outlet, you do have this long stretch going south to where it meets up to Solana Beach. And it's just a big, nice, wide open beach. It's a little bit difficult to get to. There's a parking lot down to the south. There's a smaller parking lot to the north. But up and down, it's basically just side of the road parking where you're not going to have, you're going to see people who get there early, park there. You're going to see RVs out there. You're going to see some, people just post up on the beach. So it doesn't get too busy except for the north and south, but it's just beautiful out there. So your other option, if you are looking here and the price points are a little bit high, and it's not significantly less expensive, but Encinitas, you can see it does encompass Cardiff as well, even though Cardiff has its own zip code at 92007. But Encinitas does have, first off, some more options. Price point, the median price point, most recent for single family homes is $2 million. So a little bit lower than Cardiff. You do have some super expensive streets like Neptune Avenue going up through Leucadia here. You do have some more over to the east of the 5. You do have some even more affordable where you could find some single family homes back here in that $1.5 million range. So you do have some other options here. If you're looking Cardiff now, you're probably going to be looking closer to the ocean. So maybe just east of the 5 where you're still going to find some more options, especially like in Leucadia. The reason I bring it up is because it's slightly more affordable. And also you just have a ton more infrastructure here. Up and down El Camino Real right here, you have anything and everything you need. You have breakfast spots, Home Depots, Targets, all Vons, stores. There's a bunch of medical offices. There's just everything right there that you need. Whereas Cardiff is just small. You have the big community park, which is technically right on the border of Cardiff and Encinitas. You do have the downtown area of Encinitas. So if you want walkability, you can live in Encinitas Highlands up here and scooch on down there pretty easily. And this is where you're going to find just all the restaurants and shops. This is considered like the downtown area of Encinitas, bunch of coffee shops and whatnot. And then also just to the north, if you were looking at Leucadia, that continues basically on the west side of Coast Highway where you do have a bunch more spots as well. So a lot to explore there, just a lot more options as far as eating and going out and exploring Encinitas compared to Cardiff. Next up is somewhere very unique right here in San Diego. And it is, you can see, we just recently had some bunch of rain right here in San Diego. So you'll see a few of the flooded areas around here, around San Diego, where we did, I think since 1850 or something like that. This was one of the top 5 rainiest days. It was a few days back. So that's why those are popping up. But nonetheless, Coronado right here in San Diego, right outside of downtown San Diego. It is Coronado Island, people call it, but it's really a peninsula here. You do go down the Silver Strand, down, drops you off into Imperial Beach. Coronado is unique. It is number 61 on the list at $2.205 million. But if you look at just detached homes, it's closer to that $3.2 million median price point. As far as the most recent numbers, it's a very small footprint. It's a very tight-knit community. You don't have a ton of housing in here. You do have the main drag going in, where right off Orange Ave, where you do have the restaurants and whatnot. If you've been to San Diego, you've probably gone to check out the Hotel del Coronado. It's just a nice little tourist attraction right here. Some awesome beaches here. I don't know if you guys have seen the dunes where it says Coronado Beach in the dunes. You could see it from the top. You could see it as you're walking down the beach. You could just see these big old dunes with some ivy and stuff growing out, but that's what it says from the top. But you're a quick shot right across the bridge. You know, if you're going to downtown, you're going to a Padre game, whatever it might be, you're pretty close to all that stuff. And one thing about this on this list today, I don't really have a option B, a plan B for you, because Coronado is pretty unique. Now, if we're looking at, like, there's really nothing else like it in San Diego, where you do have super bikeable. This is all pretty flat in here, so you can just cruise around, you know, get your e-bike, go down to the main drag. You'll find your little spots in there as you're going off. You could go down to the ferry center, take that across to Embarcadero, go down, cruise around downtown. But there's just not anything else completely like Coronado. So this is the one on the list where I don't have a plan B for you. Coming in at number 51 on the list with a median price point of $2.364 million is a small little sliver. It's kind of similar to Cardiff in the fact that it is pretty small, 92014, right here in Del Mar. And if we're going median price point of single family homes, it's 3.059. And with a lot of these too that I'm going through, like La Jolla, Del Mar, if you're specifically going after those areas, which a lot of people, when they do move out here, they just, you know, Del Mar has a name brand, La Jolla has a name brand, but there are other options. But a lot of people who move out here, they're like, specifically, I want La Jolla. So if that's what you want, that is where we're going to focus your search. If you want Del Mar, that's where we could focus your search. But like I said, there are some very similar options. Del Mar, you do have the Camino Del Mar, which is like the main strip right here, where you do have a few of the restaurants. Downtown Del Mar is not too huge. You're going to find some cool little spots for sure. Encinitas going into Leucadia is a bit bigger because you have both of those areas. You do have that whole section. This whole section of beach is a little bit harder to get to because you do have, you see the train tracks running through here, and then you do have some bluffs and whatnot. The main spot where you would go to the beach is going to be probably like Powerhouse Park right here, or to the north where you do have a little more access, and Dog Beach right over here. You do have some parking along the side over here where it's nice, big, open, flat. And if you just want a good view, go up this little trail. It's like a little tiny trail, but you have a big bluff front view up there, looking back towards the racetrack, looking back towards Del Mar. It's beautiful up there. So you can get up there pretty quick. There's a little brewery right in this back section here. Viewpoint Brewing right here. You do have the racetrack to the north here. And if you're looking in Del Mar too, you might specifically look in Del Mar proper, the city of Del Mar. But there's some other areas that are considered Del Mar Heights down here, where you do have a little, you know, it's considered Del Mar, but it's also not in the city of Del Mar. From Del Mar also, you do have like One Paseo. You do have the Del Mar Highlands Town Center right here. So a bunch of shopping, a bunch of restaurants, a bunch of cool things to check out. One Paseo is a little bit higher end, where you do have some higher end restaurants and whatnot. And it's pretty cool aesthetics too. Nice little spot to check out if you're living in Del Mar. But the other spot, if you want Del Mar, but you want a little bit more bang for your buck, with a median price point of $2.95 million coming in as Solana Beach right here. Once again, just a bigger footprint. So you do have east and west of the 5, where you do have some kind of track-ish neighborhoods back here. You do have, if you're looking Del Mar, you're probably looking west of the 5, where you do have kind of this little section here, a bunch of just going up these hills. It's really beautiful up there. Some of these houses have these gorgeous views because it's all elevated right up here. So you're looking either back towards the lagoon or towards the coast right up here. And there's no real main roads going through here. You do have Loma Santa Fe and then Coast Highway, but back here it's all side roads. So it's not like people cutting through. Down on Rios, you will get a little bit busier because you have the Annie's Canyon Trail, and then there's another trailhead to the north up here. That does get a little bit busy, but other than that, it's not too bad. If you go west of North Coast Highway 101, you're going to get a little bit more expensive homes up in here. And then this whole southern portion of Solana Beach is mostly condos. So if you were looking Del Mar condos, townhomes, but you want more selection, go right here, because there's a huge section where you do have, this is probably some of the most oceanfront condo selection right here in North County, San Diego, where you just have all up and down this whole section, boop, boop, all the way down, where you're super walkable to Coast Highway, super walkable to Cedros Ave, and you have access to all that right there. There's a shopping center right up here. There's a shopping center right here. So a little more convenient as well than Del Mar proper. All right, and this was the most expensive. It came in at number 10 on the list at $4.25 million for a median sales price. And you've probably heard of it before. It's right in this central part up here, Rancho Santa Fe, one of the most expensive areas. Obviously, it made the top 10 in all of the United States. And the actual median sales price, the most recent one, was $4.375 million. So it's not too far off. There's not too many townhomes or condos in Rancho Santa Fe, so it didn't skew the number too far down. But Rancho Santa Fe is known for its privacy. It's known for there's no main roads going through. These are all side roads, so you're not going to get a ton of traffic. I mean, there are people cutting through, so there's a few different areas, few different stop signs where you're going to get some traffic, but there's the Covenant in the central portion here where you do have access to the Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club. You need to be a member. This is all an HOA as well, meaning they do have HOA dues, which is dependent on the purchase price of your home. It's just basically to keep the aesthetics the same. They do have security that cruises around, but everything, if you're going to build, if you're going to develop, if you're going to do anything like that, you have to go through the architecture or the art jury and get it approved through them. But if you want to get a little bit more affordable, you want that kind of spread out vibe, you want that larger lots, you want kind of that quiet, peace and quiet, you could shoot right over here to Encinitas in Livin. And you can see this whole section back here is all Livin. Now, Livin, as you go back, a lot of 2-acre minimums. You do have a lot of walking paths back here. All these little dotted lines are trails. You will find a bunch of horse trails out there. So they're nice wide trails, but similar size. You're going to get a lot more bang for your buck back here compared to Rancho Santa Fe. Now the lots aren't probably, they don't tend to be as big as Rancho Santa Fe, but the sizes are similar. You're going to find a lot of custom homes out here. And it's just a really cool area. It's not super convenient. There's basically one main road that goes out there, and then you got to hit Rancho Santa Fe Road to go down to the El Camino corridor, or down south. There's a little shopping center down here as well. But it's one of the more unique areas right here in North County, San Diego, where the price points are definitely not in that $4 million price point. Like we said, Encinitas was like $2 million. Probably out here, you're looking closer to that $3 to $3.5 million range for a larger property, for some, acreage out there. That's kind of like the starting point. Obviously, it can go up just like Rancho Santa Fe, but there's just a lot of area out here where you're going to find some beautiful homes, and it lives very similar to that Rancho Santa Fe style. And if you guys want us to make some other videos on this, where we compare different, if this, Carlsbad versus Encinitas, or San Diego versus wherever, or North Park versus Hillcrest, or whatever it might be, let us know. Drop us in the comments below so that we can cover those and make sure you're taken care of. And it's just fun to kind of compare different areas of San Diego. This is kind of like that, and let you know that there are different areas. A lot of people who have been out here, who have visited, are very specific in the areas they want to live. And as we have these conversations, we might mention a few other areas. Now we send them out to there and they're like, no, I don't like it still. But at least there might be another option. So if you are thinking about moving out here you got some questions, be sure to hit us up, call, text, or email. Let's get that conversation started so that we can make sure your move to San Diego is as good as it can be. Once again, I'm Chris Erickson with the Beach Life Group, and we got your back when making the move here to San Diego.